So today we are doing the most unfair camera comparison ever made. We are comparing the iPhone 11 Pro to a slightly bigger beast, which is a $250,000 broadcast TV camera setup. So I'm here with Claire, a camera operator with who we work with on professional projects. So let's dive straight into it and see how they stack up. So for this test, Claire was pushing a constant zoom on the big TV camera while I was doing the same thing on the iPhone. Actually, given the zoom range, the iPhone is doing pretty well, at least much better than what I expected. In low light, I can confidently say that the big TV camera literally blew the iPhone out of the water. The image quickly starts to get really muddy and very noisy. We did a few shots here and there to compare image quality, but I must admit that I quickly got bored because I think it doesn't make much sense to compare two cameras that are made for two extremely different use cases. Come on, would you use that big broadcast camera for vlogging? Would you seriously consider using it for traveling? Why am I making this video in the first place? Why have you clicked on this thumbnail? Maybe because as a freelancer professional, you've run into all these people that told you this, hey, I can shoot the same thing with an iPhone. And almost no one will notice the difference anyways, who cares? We could debate for ages around technical differences between professional cameras and iPhones, but at the end of the day, I think this statement is perfectly valid. Because yes, 80% of the time, the photos and footage shot on iPhone are going to be just as good for the majority of viewers. 80% of the time, your live stream shot on iPhone will be just as good. 80% of the time, that beautiful sunset will look exactly the same on both cameras. However, did you notice that most iPhone comparison videos like iPhone versus Red are shot in bright daylight in front of beautiful landscapes? It's great, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, but the customer expects this level of quality whatever the condition. Bad weather, bad sky, rain, low light, slow motion, sometimes you have to be far from the subject, very close, there are many situations, and the quality has to be good every time. You can't just tell him that there's 80% chance that the shoot will go well and that the end result is pretty much tied to luck. He wants 100%, and this is what we call consistency. And to achieve that consistency and 100% reliability, you need effort, skills, experience, and good gear. I do think it gets exponentially harder and more expensive to achieve this 100% or at least 95% than to achieve 80%. When you get to the point of establishing a brand, work with bigger customers or make bigger movies and make a living out of your creative work, customers will start having expectations. They invested their money in you, they trust you, they want to get the bang out of the buck, I don't know how you say that. And as a professional, this 80% is not enough, I'll tell you why. Let's say you want to offer live streaming services to your customers. Today, you don't need to own a fully equipped satellite truck for this. You've done a few tests, this iPhone 11 Pro on a tripod will do the job. Great. Then comes this unfortunate day where your iPhone starts rebooting endlessly right in the middle of the show. So the live stream quickly turns into a catastrophe, you lose the footage, you have to refund, they spread the bad news, and worse, the customer even wants to sue you. You can now see that this 20% failure rate has almost led to crashing your business. So in my opinion, An iPhone can do a bit of everything pretty well, but it's not really designed to do one thing very well. Actually, I keep mentioning the iPhone here, but this is true for any other smartphones. Your kid knows how to do many things brilliantly, including landing a plane. Would you let him land your own flight? Okay, this was a bit extreme, but we could apply the same reasoning to a studio set with more than 100 people, where just a corrupt video file could mean reshooting the whole take with everyone, which costs a whole lot of money, of course. What we need as professionals is consistency and reliability, so that customers benefit from the same level of quality each time, whatever happens. So at this point you might wonder, in terms of gear, what really makes this TV camera closer to the 100% reliability mark than the iPhone? Well, it's plenty of things. It's also about flexibility and adapting to many different situations. It can go anywhere from a day-long battery life, video transmission over long distances with cables or wirelessly, syncing systems, better video codecs that can resist YouTube compression way better, all the way to reaching far away. And yes, you could add third-party lenses, a battery, wireless equipment to the iPhone, but trust me, you quickly end up rebuilding that very big TV camera setup and actually spending the same amount of money in the end. Now, my aim isn't to defend an industry or make you buy gear. I think the market today is a bit oversaturated, and unfortunately marketing is sometimes stupidly putting people into unnecessary debt. Upgrading your equipment will almost always only bring minor improvements to the quality of your content. The problem is that if you've managed to save a bit of money, buying is quick and easy, so it's very tempting, but it won't make your videos better. It just opens new possibilities and increased efficiency when you were already a master of your previous equipment. It's just like buying RAM memory for a computer. It doesn't make your computer faster, it just stops it from slowing down. What I think we truly need to stand out is spend time, effort and sweat to learn and improve our skills with what we already have. For years you can keep the same camera and go very, very far and no one will care that the camera is old, as long as you know it by heart in its most intimate details. And then one day you'll be successful and then many people will be like, hey, I want that same quality. And they will pay you and they will have high expectations. So then with the money you earned, you can buy more advanced gear to make your work more consistent and maintain that level of quality that defines you and offer this very same quality to each of your customers. I've put a link in the description to an excellent video by Potato Jet who explains this in a very nice way. I definitely went off topic here, but I really wanted to share with you today that there is still some value in properly used high-end equipment. And that does not mean that you need it to tell a beautiful story. That's the point I wanted to make. Also, I would like to express my huge gratitude to all of you for your very nice comments on my previous video. I really didn't expect it would do so well. So what I've said today is just my opinion. Some of you have asked whether our smartphones would replace big and costly camera setups in the near future. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I used to shoot videos on these tapes. Maybe you know these tapes as well. And at the time I was convinced that by 2019, in the future, everyone would be shooting on DVDs.